Hi everyone, my name is Kimmy Dane and welcome back to my channel. Today I am diving into a topic of a little bit of contention, which is should we as women dress up every day? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a couple of the benefits of dressing up every day so you can make the decision for yourself whether it's worth the time and energy in the morning to put on makeup, do your hair and get dressed for the day ahead. And when I talk about getting dressed up every day, I'm not talking about putting on a cocktail dress and really high heels. To me, getting dressed up or dressing up for the day is about being intentional about what one wears. It's about putting a little bit of makeup on, making sure our hair is neat and tidy, and just putting a bit of thought into the clothes that we put on and what kind of environments we're going to be wearing those clothes in when we're getting dressed. So first, I want to touch on the mood boosting effects of getting dressed up every day. So dressing up every day isn't just about influencing the perception that others have of us. It's also about creating a positive perception of ourselves. Dressing up in the morning is actually a way that we can set the tone for the day, and it kind of communicates to our brains, I'm worth this 5 to 10 minutes, I respect myself, and I take pride in how I look. And this actually has a really positive psychological effect. If you're not held back by ill-fitting clothing or clothing that kind of seems out of place for the environment that you're in, then you feel much more confident about being heard, being seen, introducing yourself to people. For example, imagine going to a fancy ball and you misread the memo and you arrived in your tracksuit pants and sneakers, and every single woman there was wearing a beautiful gown, she had her hair and makeup done. I feel like in that instance, I would not be drawing much attention to myself. I would feel really not confident. I probably wouldn't be introducing myself to many people, and I'd try to make myself as inconspicuous as possible, or I'd probably just leave. And that's why dressing appropriately for the day ahead and for the occasion is really important, because clothes really impact how we feel about ourselves, especially in social settings. So you want to really dress for the occasion, and I think that by dressing up for the day, you're preparing yourself for the day ahead, and it's going to help you feel confident to be loud, to be seen, to introduce yourself to people, and that has a really positive, or can have a positive effect on our mood. So this is all apparently referred to as something called enclothed cognition, which basically refers to the idea that clothes can impact our psychological processes. So if you were to dress up in clothes that you associate with things like attractiveness or competence, that can influence the way you feel when you wear those clothes. And not only can clothes actually make you adopt some of the traits that you associate with the clothes, like confidence or competence or attractiveness, but dressing up can also affect our motivation. So there have been studies that have shown that when we wear clothes that we associate with productiveness, like perhaps wearing a blazer, we're actually a little bit more productive. And I can totally see how that works, because if I wore a blazer 5 days a week to the office, and then on a Sunday when I wanted to sit down and maybe do some content planning, I feel like if I put a blazer on, which I associate with work, I would sort of go into that productive work mode, versus if I put on my track pants, which I associate with sitting on the couch and watching reality TV, then I'm probably not going to be as productive potentially. So if you're looking for a little bit of a confidence boost, if you want to maybe increase your motivation by 1%, I'm not sure what the percent is, then potentially taking that extra 5 to 10 minutes in the morning to dress up can potentially have some really positive effects for one's mood. Okay, the second point I'd like to make about should we or should we not dress up for the day or dress up every day is that dressing up means we are always going to be prepared for what the day has to throw at us. For example, have you ever thrown on, a pair of leggings, a baggy t-shirt, thrown your hair up in a bun and then raced down to the supermarket, buy some milk, or maybe go to the chemist? I think we've all probably done this before, but Murphy's Law states that if you look terrible and if you're in quite a state, you're probably going to run into maybe a colleague, a client, a boss, maybe a past lover. It's always when we look our worst that we happen to run into people that we know. I don't make the rules. So dressing up is, I guess, a great way to avoid those little embarrassing encounters we have where we run into people that we know when we're not really looking our best. But this is not limited to supermarkets or going to the chemist. This can be applied to your work life as well. We all have off days, we all have days where we wake up in a rush and all of our clothes are in the laundry. Like, this happens, I get it, but it is so frustrating. If you've ever gone to work, you're wearing like that shirt that's been way back in the, back of your cupboard because it's not very well fitted, or you've pulled out a dress from like eons ago because it was your only option, and then you're like, oh, now I know why I would never wear this dress because it's so ill-fitting, or the zip's not in the right place, or whatever. And it's probably going to be that day that your boss is like, oh, I know this is last minute, but can you present to the board on this? Or can you go meet with this client? Or something like that. Like, when you are having to be professional, or you're having to, get up and do a presentation, the last thing you want is to be wearing your least favorite outfit or clothes that don't make you feel professional and confident and like a boss woman. So I think that for me, I've learned probably the hard way that it's always best to dress to impress, especially when going to work, because you literally never know what the day is going to throw at you sometimes. And as long as you always look elegant and sophisticated and work appropriate, then you don't have to worry about, what might pop up during your work day. And ladies, I am also going to mention, always wear your best undergarments, because you really do never know where the day might take you. Perhaps your health might take a turn for the worst. You might end up in the emergency department at the hospital, or maybe you might reach for your worst pair of undies and forget that you had an appointment with the gynecologist. You honestly don't know. So always leave the house like someone might actually see those undergarments, because sometimes they do. Okay, so the next point I want to make about, dressing up every day as a woman is the fact that there have been studies that have shown that women who dress well at work are actually more likely to be promoted and receive salary increases. And that's without doing extra work. That's just based on the fact that their appearance portrays them as being confident and professional, which increases the chance of opportunities being given their way and being given promotions. That to me is a kind of crazy fact. And I don't know about you, but if just putting 5 to 10 minutes extra into my, morning routine lands me a promotion or getting paid more at work, I think that spending 5 to 10 minutes on my appearance in the morning is worth it. Take all of these with a grain of salt. Like, everyone has very different situations, and we shouldn't have to dress up to get more money at work, but knowledge is power. And if there is a chance that, looking nice when one goes to work will mean you actually get paid more, maybe it's worth it. But obviously everyone watching this video can make that decision for themselves. Oh, and also this fact obviously might not be applicable to all industries, because there are certain industries where you won't have the ability to dress up, so to speak, because there's many industries where one must wear a uniform and pay is set, like working in government, working for the health department, or in a hospital. So I guess this particular point's probably more applicable to corporate or the private sector, where one has more say over how they dress and potentially more room to negotiate in terms of pay. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are enjoying my videos, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you next time.